nearly live. I never trust this thing. Yeah, we're going now. So today,
right.
Pure Portugal, we're with Marije, who has moved over to Portugal. How many years ago was it, Marije? Sorry.
In 2015.
Oh, okay. So 2015, and we're going to talk about some of the fantastic things that you're doing. So there's a several examples that we're going to cover, obviously, today.
Yeah.
There's one of them being the women in olive oil, which sounds like an absolutely fantastic project, which we'll cover a little bit later on. But first of all, I thought maybe we could just find out a bit more about you and sort of what you're doing and how you came to be in Portugal, I guess, really.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm Marije. I'm originally Dutch, and somewhere almost 20 years ago, in a bar, I found my Portuguese husband. I think that sums it up. No, yeah, he was studying hotel school in The Hague, where I'm from, and yeah, and his parents were living in the Algarve, having a restaurant. So yeah, I ended up coming here to Portugal, falling in love with the country, and also discovering central Portugal, because my father-in-law was born in Condeixa, and in the 80s he bought a little ruin here, slowly fixed it up, because he always wanted to go back to his roots when he was going to be pensioned. And yeah, he had a bit of land, and he would ask people around 2000. It was in 2000. What shall I do with the land? And everybody said, plant olive trees. So he did, because that wasn't a lot of work. So he planted over 500 trees.
Yeah.
And boy, that is a lot of work. Yeah. So
we a lot of trees. Yeah.
Yeah. We stepped in, I think, around 2005, when the baby started, growing, and from 2008 onwards, I was already bringing some oil to family and friends in the Netherlands, because we're still living there. And at some point, from one year to the other, the flavor of the olive oil was completely different. And for me, that was the big sort of search why. And I did a course in Seville to become an olive oil sommelier, and that just changed my life completely. I just knew I wanted to do something in this industry, also knowing that you cannot live of it, because if you just have 500 trees, it's fun for friends and family, but it's commercializing something like this is very difficult.
Do you know how many liters of olive oil you would get from 500 trees? Do you know how many?
It really depends. Depends on the year, because the yields are different. It depends on the variety. Like Galega in central Portugal has a barren year, so a lot of olives one year, not so many olives the other year. So it's hard to say. But like our trees, average yield is about 25 kilos per tree, maybe 2-3 liters per tree. Yeah, but in the meanwhile, we got a little bit more. Yeah. So that was basically the start. And in 2015, well, around that area, we decided we really wanted to move back to Portugal. Or Guy wanted to move back, and we started looking for something to do around here, and we thought Coimbra would be a great opportunity, beautiful city, and he always had the dream of having a little place, so we opened a restaurant, and that went extremely well for 4 years. We run Taberna do Azeite, which is also sort of farm to fork, so what we were doing on the farms we would bring into our little restaurant. We've been in the top 10 for many years.
Well done.
But just a week ago we decided we had to unplug it, and it's painful, but with COVID it's just not possible to combine both, because normally we would only open for dinners and we would farm during the day, but now with the 50% capacity, and also the slow winters, because in winter there's a lot less people going out for dinner, we had to be open full time just to cover costs, and that's just not possible anymore. So huge change for us, very scary, but new opportunities will come for sure. And now, it's full-time farming, which I'm very excited about in a way.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It opens a new door, huh? Mm-hmm. A new challenge.
New challenge, yeah. And kind of nice because, I've been working on quite a few projects already for a couple of years. Not a lot of people know about it. And one of those projects is SIL Cargo. What happened? Well,
this is what I'm so excited about. I really am. This sounds so great.
Yeah, I think nature just happened. During the first year, we went. Well, we lived here, and we live on a mill surrounded by water. We had a flood. The second, that was 2016. Yeah, second year, 2017, was of course the horrible year of the fires. One of our groves got severely damaged by the fires. The year after, we had a hurricane. And a lot of old walnut trees crashed on our lands. And last year there was another flood. The climate is changing, and it's super scary. And I think once you live on a farm and have to live off produce, commercially, you see the challenges. And I knew I had to do something. And by coincidence, with having a nice website, Alexandra from New Dawn Traders found me, wrote to me an email like, hey, we're doing this sailing project with old SIL ships, and we want to move some cargo from Porto to the UK, as we come from the Caribbean with like rum and cacao and coffee beans, and they do a stopover to supply in Porto. The crew for food for the last miles, basically to Northern Europe. And why not take stuff from Portugal? And her idea was olive oil, because it's such a natural product and it's healthy and it has a sort of good vibe. And in the UK there was not a lot of access to real good oil. And I was like, great, this is fantastic. This fits, what I believe is the right thing to do. I had no oil to ship back then. That was the first journey. But I already created quite a community. So I said, come to me and I'll show you how olive oil in Portugal is produced. I'll show you the different regions, the different types of industry, because there's a very good side, and then there's also a side that I'm not enthusiastic about, but it is reality where we nowadays live in. And that's the super intensive harvest, what kind of got us talking as well. I showed her, for instance, this is a lady farmer in the Coa Valley. So that's by the Alto, Figueira Castelo Rodrigo. She makes amazing organic table olives and lovely oil, just 3,000 liters a year. And her trees are insane, and everything she does is beautiful. And she never exported oil, and she's like, well, you have to do this with me. You have to trust me. And
wow.
And so we got going, and the first ship was very interesting. It was the Nautilus from Fair Transport. It's a Dutch company, but they have no engine whatsoever, so they have to be dragged into the ports and stuff, which is interesting. But also, when the wind is just bad, they just can't enter the channels to the UK and the Netherlands, and it took them quite a while to arrive. But
wow.
We did a first load, we did a second, and now we're going, I think, to journey number 6. And
wow,
the amount
fantastic.
The amount of producers and the amount of products that we take has already increased. So it's not just olive oil. We're doing also wines now in port. We're doing dry beans, lupine beans. I'm going to start with rice. this year because I found like a good small rice producer that's doing the right thing. So anything we want to add to we call it a voyage cooperative. So basically all the prices that go to the farmer is really fair, and all the markups for like everybody in this chain, because it's just not only ship, producer and New Dawn traders, but there's a lot of people involved helping to distribute on the other side, also in a emission-free way, with bicycles and little package-free shops, for instance. They get a fair part of the deal, I'd say. Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah. So it started.
It's so fun. How amazing is that? And as you say, in this day and age, to find an actual system that can work, it just goes to show that it is possible. You know, it doesn't have to all be done on this huge, big, high emission, like mass produced manner, does it? You know, it can still be efficient and actually work economically.
Yeah.
You know, financially still work.
Yeah.
You know.
I hope this is also what sort of COVID is teaching us, is that with a little less, you know, you don't need a lot. So if we all just have a little less and just help the local communities, it's so much better. But it's hard work and it's baby steps. I mean, we've kind of figured it out, but still, it's difficult to convince new people, and especially commercial shops and small shops on the other side, the receiving side. It's hard. Yeah. But we started with a ton, and now we do on average about 12 tons or something already.
Amazing.
8 ports. Yeah, sort of 8 ports. Yeah. 3 countries. We can do 4.
With the stuff that leaves Portugal or leaves all of the countries, and say it heads to the UK, for example, let's say it goes there. So would this be bought by shops on the other end and then sold to the consumer, or could you and I order something and then have it delivered that way as well? Would it work that way or not?
It's both, actually.
Would?
Yeah, it's both.
Yeah.
So there's in the UK, and they're doing really well, there's the Open Food Network, which is also sort of open source platform where farmers can sell their local produce, and they've also adopted us, so you can go online and just see which port is near you and make a purchase. And can be just 5 liters of olive oil or a jar of table olives. Doesn't have to be big. No.
Absolutely brilliant. That's so great. Hey, we'll share the link, if you can send me the link to it.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll make sure that we put the links to everything on there, and then people can go on and see what they can order. It's fantastic.
Definitely. We did London this last voyage, and we just saw the bridge opening, because you have to request, and then the ship goes through, and it's like it's very special project, and I'm very proud that it's definitely we're pulling it off, because everybody in this chain is important, just as important, and I'm just the lucky one having to live here and sort of like spot the other producers and try to convince them to sort of come on board. Yeah.
And such a nice way of being able to, like you say, to be able to connect with the smaller producers as well, who often find it impossibly hard to compete against these huge manufacturers, you know, and mass producers. It's price and not, it's not really just the price, it's the accessibility, you know, it's actually bringing it to people's door, isn't it? Is the hard part for so many people who are using production. It's the biggest issue always.
And just the cost and maintaining everything, and it's difficult.
Would you, thinking back to your amazing other project that we're going to talk about, which is the Women in Olive Oil?
So well,
is it connected to the Women in Olive Oil, or
with connecting to already a few producers and women, and also in the industry because of the sommelier, and I'm quite out there on the social side. I got asked by an American lady, Jill Myers, if I would want to host her daughter for a summer, because she was turning 18 and she wanted some experiences in Europe. And I don't know, I just had a good vibe with it, and we had an online chat. It's like, sure, Madison, come along and learn here and help me on the farm. And she did that, and basically Jill kind of became a good connection. And at some point she said, Marije, I'm working on something, and it's really fun, and I think it's something you should be in, and you you should well, maybe you can participate because you know a lot of people. And she started talking about women in olive oil, how she wanted to connect, like, globally the women in the industry, because in general, there's, I think even in farming, there's over 70% women doing a lot of field work and a lot of work, but they're not appreciated as much as men in our industry still, you know. And I'm not maybe talking about Portugal, because I'm thinking here it's pretty fair. But there's also other countries like, Israel, like Jordan, like there's so many countries. And basically core values are connecting, sharing knowledge, standing up for rights of women, and helping us succeed in the industry, but in a sustainable way. So specifically for the smaller lots and the people with more difficulties. And I was like, this is so great, because in a lot of times in the industry, and here as well with men, it's they look differently at things than we do. And no offense, but it was nice. She created a Facebook platform at first, and we start entering like all these women that we know, and everyone was like a great vibe. I was so happy, and just straight away the platform start working. It's like, hey, what are you doing against the olive fly? And people start helping each other, saying, hey, I'm looking for someone that can help me on my farm in Italy, and there was already a connection, and so we knew this was the right thing. She in the background already started like organizing and getting like people in positions to help her grow the platform. We're trying to really make it a legal foundation, of course. But small steps, because it's all voluntarily, and it's a lot of women like me with kids having normal jobs, so doing this sort of on the side. But it's now 1,200 women already in the platform.
Over the world as well.
Yeah, the whole world is, already about 60 countries. I'm working now on setting up Portugal. I don't want to run it because I think in my strengths are connecting a little bit more globally and doing a lot of technology. So basically I'm helping the team communication, building the technical platform. I've done this in my past, so this kind of fits me, and I can do that a little bit at night. So, and my Portuguese, it's good, but I don't know. It should be someone else, I'd say. But I'm helping to set it up here in Portugal. And there's a lot of also international women in Portugal. I already met a lovely lady, Miranda, she's near Elvas. She has 3,000 trees, small producer, organic. So I'm going to go to her next week to help her out. And I'm looking for you women. Come on. I'm really.
So share this. I have a link for you here, which is the womeninoliveoil.org. Yeah. So if we share this on here now, then people can connect obviously and see a little bit more. So there's there's your website you can get onto, and you have a Facebook page, which I guess is probably quite a good one to hop onto as well.
Yeah, it's closed, but you can just you could enter, you can fill in the questions why you want to enter the group, and I can I'm an admin there, so I can approve you. And basically it's really like knowledge sharing, helping each other out. If you have some difficulties in your country getting a project started. Eventually, we want to get funding, of course, for good research and funding projects. And it's women in all layers of the industry. So it's not just the farmers, it's the millers, it's the scientists, it's the retailers, the tasters. There's a lot of judges. There's a lot of women in that area of our industry. But we really want to cover all layers of our industry and help each other.
Fantastic.
I think
that's so amazing. Yeah, it's just such a brilliant thing. The minute I heard you mention it, I was just so excited to hear about it. It's fantastic. It really is.
Yeah, and I thought, it's nice to talk on PurePortugal because we share the same values. I'd say, we want to make.
People are going to be so keen to know.
We want to take care of the small little properties in the countryside. With these antique galega trees that yield sometimes maybe over 100 kilos and yes, make sure that they don't disappear and nothing gets super intensified. What we are watching actually, in other sides of Portugal. So
there are so many people, like you say. I mean, our passion is to help people come back to the land to as many degrees as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
We can help to help those people, because there are so many people who pick up little bits of little farms or little quintas, and they have olive trees on, and it might be their first ever experience into that whole idea. Depending on where they come from, it can be they may have never even been near an olive tree before. So to help passion in such an amazing industry is just fantastic. It really is.
Yeah, definitely.
So exciting.
There's so many beginner mistakes made, especially on making high quality olive oil, and I know all about it because we started here as well, not knowing anything. And it's good that we can help women to educate and basically helping them getting better quality olive oil from their commercial mills, because nobody that's small has their own mill. It's impossible.
No, that's a big problem. I know myself, a number of olive trees, but enough to make oil from, and pretty much everyone we know is in the same boat. Everyone has some trees, maybe enough to make a few, maybe, I don't know, 50 liters or something at the most. Sometimes it's really not very much at all, but you still want to be able to produce your own olive oil. It's a fantastic thing to be able to do.
Exactly. And you can just enjoy it. And especially when it just comes out, it's the best feeling in the world. No, but I'm here. I'm here for you. I'm here for you, ladies, and connect with me. And one step at a time. We're gonna be there. Yeah.
Well, we definitely do some more talking on this, maybe. We can connect with you again in the future and make sure that the word gets out to people.
Yeah. Sure. Sorry, my son is entering. Ben. One of the pillars of the platform is doing Zoom in talks, and basically it's talks on little educational, so how to taste, or there was a really nice Zoom in for pregnant women on the benefits of olive oil during pregnancy. And I'm gonna do one not so long, so stay tuned, and we will announce it on the 10 top things that a small farmer should invest in to make good quality oil.
Fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Hey,
it's coming.
Some of that up on PurePortugal, we'd love to do that. It'd be absolutely amazing if we can share those things out for you.
Yeah, it will be a pleasure.
It's just that I'd love for as many people to know about it as possible, to be honest with you. I just think it sounds so great. It really does.
Yeah.
Well, it's after my heart.
You have a good reach, so I don't think it's going to be a problem. It's really fun, to be able to talk about it here. All right.
Yeah, I'm so glad we found each other. Facebook is a good thing.
It is. Sometimes, not always, but in this opportunity, definitely. Yeah, to build a little community.
I'll let you go if you need to sort out children. I think mine are back as well. They're going to start crashing through the door any minute myself.
Exactly.
So, thank you so much for your time today. It's been really amazing to chat to you.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
That's so people can find you, and hopefully it's inspired some people to look at olive oil.
Definitely.
Sounds great.
All right. Well, cool. And yeah, let's talk soon. All right.
We'll catch up soon for sure. Thanks again.
Okay.
Bye, Marije.
Bye-bye.